Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and welcome to I think, a prime example of pot calling kettle black. Zara Sultana, the ultra hard leftist moron who somehow managed to get herself to be the joint leader of a doomed to die soon Islamic Party of Great Britain, she's claimed in an interview with Politics Joe yesterday that, and I'm going to use the quotes here, that Vladimir Zelensky is, quote, not a friend of the working class. She said, and here's her words, I've got to give you them. We want this war to end because it is working class Ukrainians and working class Russians who are being killed. Putin is a dictator, a gangster, and there are war crimes that have been committed. But Zelensky isn't a friend of the working class either. And those were the voices that I was hearing in Paris. The only people that benefit from conflict in Ukraine and in Gaza or anywhere else are arms manufacturers and people who profit from the arms industry. Well, no shit, somehow. I mean, that's been the history of the world. But this thing here, she seems to be saying that it's only the fact that their working class people are dying that's stopping, that's bothering her. So she's quite happy for people who are, say, lower middle class, upper middle class, upper class to die. They're fine because they're not working class. That seems very heartless. Where's your humanity? Oh, wait, of course you don't have any humanity. That was extracted out of you by the constant mental beatings as a child when they forced you to follow a death cult. But in terms of saying that, war is very profitable for, arms dealers and things, of course it is. I was a gun runner. You were a gun runner during the Spanish Civil War. You were a gun runner during the Spanish Civil War. Well, it's the best time to do it. Fools and horses. Brilliant lines. But yeah, of course it is. War makes money. Always has. In fact, America needed the Second World War. One of the reasons that America actually came in to the Second World War is they needed to end the Depression. And Roosevelt knew this, which is why Roosevelt, who knew the Japanese were coming at Pearl Harbor, basically let it happen. He needed America to get involved with that war. And boy, did production ramp up. During the 30s, America was screwed. After the crash of 29, America was in the doldrums. And then along comes this wonderful opportunity. But of course, America couldn't just go in. There was a lot of people in America saying America first. They didn't, we stand back. We ain't getting involved in Europe's war. And then the opportunity of Pearl Harbor came, and Roosevelt smacked it with both hands, and took America into the war. And the boom that it caused, and I don't mean that in a pun kind of way. I mean the financial boom that war caused got America out of its depression. And indeed, once the war was over and everyone started coming back in the end of the 40s, in the 50s and 60s in America, it was boom central. The 50s in America was the upbringing of the teenager, the big car thing, rock and roll, and then straight in, bang, the space race, man on the moon. America has never been better. And then, of course, in 1972, it all ended, really. It was the height of the Vietnam War. People were fed up with it and so forth. Hippies got in trouble, became involved. And it all started going downhill. I blame the 70s. I blame the 70s decor, orange and brown. You can't get excited when everything is orange and brown. It's too much like diarrhea and shit, isn't it? British Leyland were making cars that were orange and brown. We had wallpaper on our walls that was bright orange and brown. Yeah, 70s, man. They were bad days. But anything that's brown, I suppose, always gets you depressed. But she's right. She's right. You make money in war. But, of course, she's saying that it's all a war about class war. It's not, It really isn't. If you actually look at the history of Ukraine, you'll understand why the war started. But Zara Sultana doesn't look at the history of anything. Dumb. 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 She should be raising Cain and tending to current affairs. I'll get me coat. Thanks a lot. Bye.